They claiming I'm a criminal. They claim I'm a criminal. They claiming I'm a criminal. Yeah, we don't own the rights to this music. This is brand new being claiming I'm a criminal. What I say, the devil made me. I'll get you some kicks and try to send some flicks, but it's over. Baby, yes, it's over. A million inmates, but you're still alone. You're in the night when you're safe and out of sight. Damn, I miss my peeps in the rides, in the jeeps, in my casual freedom. Where's my crew when I need them? A visit ain't the same like being in the game, but I'll take it. At least with that, I'll make it. The beast is a bitch and I see it. I do the knowledge to him, so next time I can do him. Yo, ex, I got the locking now, but write me real soon. I know that you're a busy man. Give me a minute. You could never know the beat after you've been locked the fuck up in it. I don't even know nothing about it. You could never know the P now until you locked up in it. I believe. They claiming I'm a criminal. What's going on, y'all? It's been a while. It's been over a year. Today is a year that my friend, my comrade, to where we would have liked to have been. Been that this is the way to go and how we want
his time and his era and his stories that he's transcended the history and the knowledge of Atlantic City. But what we had in common was we were dreamers and dreaming about what we could do when, especially in our community of a lot of naysayers, as we would call them, people who couldn't believe or didn't believe or didn't have that spirit in them to think that they could over perspective and that we were these are what we could accomplish. And he went from here and had to go other things as well here in Atlantic City. And with that knowledge and information, uh, we transcended, and he and I came together. And it's funny how we came together. Um, a cousin, his cousin, and a friend of mine, or something like that. These tribes, they had the flagship at the time, and we're talking, and we started talking about just what our dreams was, and it had nothing to do with none involving in order to get to where we wanted to be and where we wanted to go. and and that was the big thing. And the first thing was Councilman Smalls, and where we started talking and building, and ultimately him talking to me about his experience in TV and radio and different things like that. And I didn't know much about that. I had my own thoughts and ideas about where I was coming from as an athlete in Atlantic City and where I was them and use basically at the end of the day and not have all of and where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the tools because I was shuffled through the system. And so my perspective once I came home and things like that was different about pushing our children through, shuffling them through to utilize them in their sports because they had athletic abilities, but if they didn't have the intellectual and the education and all those things like that, they ultimately was going to be in a failing position. And I wanted to do something different and not have our kids in those positions that I was in, even though I happened to skate through, get through, and have the opportunity to still earn a degree that I thought was earned in the most difficult manner possible. And I was able to still accomplish it. Uh, but most wouldn't accomplish it. Most wouldn't get to that successful space, and most would fail. And try to share the good and the bad sides of what was going on with them, and ultimately that they saw some of those things and took advantage of and tried to prepare themselves a little bit better than I was prepared, and a lot of my peers were prepared to deal with college and the different stages of it where you ultimately just didn't give up. And so that's where I was at. And some and going through that stuff and coming back home and trying to say, all right, I did these particular things that we were talking about that y'all told me about, and now here I am, and then really get to a naive situation where you realize that motherfuckers just was feeding you a bunch of bullshit and telling you what you know what I mean they should tell you, but at the end of the day, they themselves didn't even really believe in that what they were telling you, and I had to figure that out on my own from my experience in dealing with them at that day. As I got through that, people were just trying to make their way through the system and get their monies and get what they get out of the system, and utilize the times as the times were changing from black people having these roles and making certain money, and they were trying to get in those spots and positions, and that was what they were concerned with. The things that we ultimately care about and people back before that cared about, that was no longer in the forefront of black educated folks mindset. They was in a whole new of taking advantage of being in the positions that white folks had that earned such certain monies, and that's what they cared about, and that's what they were concerned with. And I was privy to because I was believing is the other stuff that we were teaching and being taught, and it kind of blew me away because I believed in what they were telling me, and now I'm seeing what the reality of life is, and people, it's like uh, slavery, and people and getting to work in the big house versus somebody working in the field, and how somebody in the big house would keep a joker down that's they might want to bring up to the big house so they can have the respect and whatever power that they have as the only black person, whatever it is. And that's the mentality and the culture that we're living with amongst us, and seeing that's prevalent, and that's really how the culture is at, at this moment. And it shocked me and threw me through a loop, and I could have folks was the enemy and what the history and systemic racism and all that stuff like that, and not really or not overlook the big house and you know what I mean, and Jim Crow and all that other stuff. I really overlooked that and how the effects of that things was within our own community to really experience it on the level that I was like, this, this is real. This is top notch real. This is worse than even white folks. Black folks treat black folks and what they to be the black person, and it's just real. It's just real. And, and Kevin and I went through the world and how society as white folks try to keep you and us out, and our view and our perspective to a certain level, and how we had to try to fight through that amongst our own people, and them not really understand that supporting us opens up doors and ideology and different things like that for us. But that's not what the masses is seeing and understanding. And so we're fighting a battle on so many different levels to try to get our voices out, so the people that needs to hear it, our people, can hear some of the different things that are going on, the views, the perspectives, what we should be looking out for, and they can't see it, and they're not being privy. They have totally taken those things out with the media and social media and different things like that, and we're being channeled and fed so much more of the worst and the gearing us and controlling us and um, brainwashing us to a certain level of different things and ideologies and stuff like that. and we don't even know that it's happened. So Kevin and I was talking about these things, and we had the privy of BMW on the and talking to a white audience, even though a black audience we weren't talking to until we started doing AC 411 about vision, and it was like because black folks, I guess, maybe see more things visually, but on the radio, we were talking to white folks and being able to share some things and be able to plant seeds with them and how things really was and how they were seeing them. And we thought that was a bit of be sharing information to them. But at the same time, once AC 411 came on, we had the opportunity now to share information and stuff to our community that was paying attention to some of the we wanted ultimately wanted to get to. Um, but today's the day that my buddy Kevin Hall passed away, and he's my friend, my mentor. And we had things. I don't have no one to talk to like that now, and it's just different. And I wish I had someone who's level-headed and not caught up in the hype of whatever else is going on, and to be able to understand what's going on now and how it's affecting us now. And we had that, we shared that together, to, to be able to communicate and talk about a lot of different things on different levels. And there's not a lot of people that I'm able to talk to about a lot of those different things on different levels, and they be real understanding without the fakeness or the bullshit. You know what I mean? And I would call him out because he he come from the old school. He understand think like that and think like he thought, and, you know. But at the same time, he was open minded enough to say, well, you know what? If y'all not can't counter what Hank's saying, then maybe he's saying something, say something counter to whatever he's saying. Now I challenge him. He was say to me, forth about those particular things, and yeah, but I miss Kev, and then I miss that type of insight and someone challenging my, me intellectually, spiritually to have, I know that things haven't been the right way. I appreciate him for still trying to get me to be better. Like they say, like what I want to do is come on the show and talk about local things, talk about national things, and audience that's based on truth, but on solutions. And we can build on solutions and truth and solutions. All right, this is what it is, but how can we go about accomplishing this homelessness or opioids or fentanyl or I mean black businesses and black communities supporting black businesses, um, black women. How do we recognize and respect their importance to our humanity and what they have been and what they where they're at and where society is pitting them now. How can we make sure that they continue to be, you know what I mean, the bottom line, basic, the most important thing about the black community is the black woman and her holding black men accountable and them being who they are and not shifting to the negative energy of a man and still being a woman and being a woman and being in that phase and not shifting over to wanting to have what he has or dealing with his wrong man is doing these things and that thing because you have so many women that want to do the same thing that they do, which is some of the stuff is just so wrong, but they want that power. They want to be able to be that and do. Why do you want to be all the negative things that men do? And so, we want to make sure women stay who they are and what they have been, and not the fall guy or the fall woman, but the you know what I mean, mechanism and the power and everything in the, in the family is the woman. Expectations from our teachers, our expectations from uh, the schools itself, the board members, the expectations from our council people and our mayors and our expectations from, what I mean, that we business market in Atlantic City and things like have respect for individuals that's trying to be in those different lanes and they can't be in those lanes because they're not friends with this person. They're not linked up here. They're not part of the clique. And yet they have ideas and plans and they're not getting the support that they need in order to be in the lanes they want to be in all the day. And so we need to address these things and come together with ideas and different people. You know what I mean? There's different people in the community that do try to make these things happen. And so they've been doing them for a while now and talking about the economics and us and our involvement with North Side. And it ain't just about North Side. Let's do North Side. You know what I'm saying? But we should be able to get in and get on the goods on the board wall, Pacific Avenue, uh, uh, up to where Sovereign Avenue, Chelsea Heights, wherever. Want to clean that up. And so, you know what I mean? And this is my first uh you know, live. Ain't nobody listening on here now because it's probably on Peace and Power, but I get a chance to share it, or even on YouTube. I guess this is YouTube too, but we want to start sharing this information. This political aspirations that is coming up. I mean, there's a lot of little things that's happening that's happened to me in this time frame since King. I got stories to tell, and getting in uh, and, and having some dialogue with different people in the community, different people with stories to tell, and what they're talking about and what they're doing. Not with that. Not with that. With the regular people who ain't got somebody's ass they ain't fucking kissing, or trying to whose balls they trying to suck. You know what I mean? We ain't with that. We ain't with no ass kissing, no balls licking. Find out how to spread your peace. I'm not your fucking vehicle or your whatever it is to spread your bullshit. Whether I'm shit that I'm on, then I probably be more inclined to 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 rock with you and roll, roll with you and with you whatever it is. If you got some shit and you push and figure out how to make that happen. Like I have to do with mine. Believed in on peace and power. I mean peace and power or Kevin Hall Super whole program or AC 411 with WND, you know what I mean? And then all we wanted to do was just come up with solutions to figure out how to deal with